to the Cooler Women's Wellness Tribe, the podcast. Get comfortable, get your walking shoes on, and let's get going. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Women's Wellth. And it's my birthday episode. My birthday is the 10th of the 11th, 10/11, which is also my angel numbers. So you'll probably be listening to this on 11/11, so also very lucky. Today's episode, a mixture of things. I was just going to do an episode reflecting on my birthday and things that I've learned this year. But I feel like this week a few things have been dripping out in front of me that I'm like, right, this is forming my podcast. This is generally what happens when I'm like, right, let's just talk. Let's see what comes up. My intention today is to just give you permission to be who you are, no matter what your age. Let go of your age. Stop acting your age. I'm not even going to tell you how old I am. If you know, you know. From now on, for me, for a very long time, I don't even bother with my age. I never ask anyone how old they are because it really doesn't matter to me. If I do ask them, it's more of, if they mention something, if they go, 20 years ago, and if there's numbers there, and I'll just go, oh, how old are you now then? So like that kind of, but I don't ask. Some people, I feel like it's one of the first questions they ask you. And I never know if this is for judgmental. Are they comparing? Are they just nosy? Like, why do we need to know? And what sparked this in me this week is, so I'll be adding on to this, but two posts on Instagram that I saw that really got me thinking about these milestones, I guess. Do we call them milestones? Milestones. These various milestones we use to chart our lives and businesses and everything that we should do, and that they don't mean anything. So I saw two posts, funnily enough, two birthday posts. One girl I think was 24, one may have been 34 or 30. Fine. Very positive posts. They were saying, it's okay, I'm this age and I haven't done all these things yet. And then I think the lady who was 34, the woman who was 34, also was talking about age anxiety. Again, very positive. It's okay. I'm 34 and I haven't done X, Y, and Z. They were beautiful posts, beautiful pictures, beautiful people. And, so grateful for women who put that out there. But does the age matter? Do we need to see that she's 34 and she hasn't done these things? Do we need to have this imaginary list of things? Because what I infer from that, I read between the lines of, yes, she's putting a positive spin on it, but she's still got these expectations of herself that she hasn't hit yet. So she's pointing it out and making sure that other people understand that it's okay. But why can't we just scrap these milestones? Does it matter? On paper, if we're going by that, I haven't hit any. So this is one of the things I want to touch on to begin with today is we have these milestones. We have 21, 30, 40, 50. It's generally, coming into a new decade. Amazing, you've reached a new decade. That's all it should be. It really doesn't matter what the number is. We shouldn't be judging each other's achievements or judging each other by the amount of achievements we've ticked off by the time we get to a certain age. Because this then gives permission to other people to judge you as a success or a failure because you haven't hit these milestones. And, you see it all the time in magazines, 20 things to do before you're 20, 30 things to do before you're 30. Then it kind of dwindles off because elder millennials now in their 30s, coming up to 40. Let me just digress for a second here. Saw a post the other day. And someone, was like knocking on a window. I can't remember what the song was, but it was like people born in the 80s. And it was like the 40s waving at the window. That made me giggle because that's very true of people of my age born in the 80s. And that's all it needs to be, that we're born in the 80s. We don't need this, even just the Gen Z millennial thing. when did that start? Because I feel like when I was at school, I never called myself a millennial. I knew that, the millennium was coming. I was alive. We thought the world was going to end. But where does that come from? Because I don't know. I actually don't know. That's a genuine question. Maybe I should have Googled that and did a bit of research so I could share that with you. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, as I do, but it's my birthday, so I'm allowed. So yeah, we've got these milestones, these expectations, and if you don't make the list, if you don't tick them off, then you're on the scrap heap. Years and years and years ago, being in your 20s, single, unmarried, with no children, you were on the scrap heap. You were an old maid, Hundreds of years ago, you were a witch. So as women, we have these societal pressures that no matter how positive your Instagram post is, I feel like there's still an element of, this is the list of things. I've got this age and I haven't done them yet, but I am celebrating it. Let's get rid of that. My post is my birthday post. Let's get the caption together here today. It's my birthday. It doesn't matter what I haven't done. It doesn't matter what I have done. What matters is that I'm here. I am grateful for everything I have got right now. I'm in the right place at the right time. Done. Hit like, share. So it's a societal thing that conspires to convince us that round numbers somehow matter more. We all dreaded being 30. We'll all be dreading being 40 and 50. Like, these are like these imaginary lines in the sand, that these threshold moments of where the world takes a snapshot of your life. The world weighs you, judges you, and then often finds you reflecting and feeling bad because these certain things haven't happened. And, it's tough because once you pass 30, we're sort of told that 30 is this adult age of, by the time I'm 30, if you talk to someone in their 20s, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z. And if you don't have X, Y, and Z, the spouse, the house, the kids, the career, then you failed. So what about people that are quite happy moving through their 30s into their 40s that don't have those things? You put on this scrap pile. Like, it's, rather than being a celebration of everything that we have, it's always like, I haven't done that. And it's always lingering over us. And I was watching something recently, and the people within the YouTube video were turning 30. And they were talking about, oh, I want to have kids at this age, and I'm going to do this and this and this. And, it is healthy. It's motivation. But do we need to put this cap? And I was watching it and I was like, let that go. Whatever happens, happens. Because if life happens and you take a different direction, that is not a judgment of your success. That is not a judgment of you. That doesn't mean you're not successful in what you want to do. It just means that milestone is going to come a little bit at a different time. I'm not even going to say later, because later suggests that there's a time scale for it. And what we should be doing instead is looking at all the amazing elements of our lives, of our achievements. You might be a single mother with children and think, oh, I didn't want this, and now I'm in my 30s, I've got 2 kids, or you're divorced, or these things that we hold on to, that this shouldn't be what we're doing. How about this should be what I'm doing? This is right. I'm on the right path. Yes, other things didn't work out, but we get overshadowed by these imaginary milestones, and then if they fall through, then we're really hard on ourselves. So this is your permission, whatever situation you are in right now, that you are in the right place for you. We're not judging it on, you should be at this certain place at a certain age. And it is, I don't know if men get this the same, if any men listen to this, you can let me know. But I do ask my boyfriend, and I know I maybe mentioned it in the podcast about children, that he doesn't get asked as much. His mum asks him occasionally, when are you getting married? But I think that's just a mum thing. It's not like a societal pressure for him. And I don't know if these pressures are they more in our faces now because of the internet? And, we see these posts of, like I said, 20 things to do before you're 20, 30 things to do before you're 30. When I was a teenager, we didn't have the internet. So our go-to was magazines. And I can't remember ever reading a list of 20 things to do before you're 20, before I was 20, or 30 things to do before you were 30. And I think this is sort of a modern thing. Again, we did have those expectations. I remember writing myself a letter and I had these expectations. By the time I'm 30, I'm going to be married with children. Now look at me, completely opposite. I live in a different country, I'm not married, don't have any children, I have 2 dogs. And I left the career that I joined when I was in my 20s, when I was completely different. So we didn't have these expectations in our faces then, but now they are here. So we see it a lot more. And I just think it's bringing on this new pressure of, these lists of things you need to do before a certain age. And the achievements of others are echoed around the chambers of the internet. Oh, the internet, love it or hate it, but now we have this army of influencers, perfect skin, perfect lives, perfect bodies, perfect fashion, perfect careers. They have all of these, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's amazing how empowering is that. But faced with this, it's not hard to feel inadequate or reflect on your life and think, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? I haven't done that. Look at her. She's 24 and she's in a yacht in the south of France, for example. And here I am sat in Stoke-on-Trent at my kitchen table with 2 kids, and now I'm divorced. And because we see this, it's like, oh God, look at my life compared to hers. And, when I was 24, I was doing this. When you were 24, you were doing the thing exactly what you should have been doing when you were 24. And now I feel like there's so much of an everyone does so many things for Instagram. The things we look at, we need to question, like, is she enjoying that? Is that what she, yes, she might be if she's on a boat in the south of France, but she's never going to have your life at 24. And she may be living up to these expectations. For me as a new business owner as well, I make this much a month, and we have these milestones that are put out to us all of the time. And if we really let it can take a grip on our lives. And I do feel lucky that maybe this is why I'm able to let it go a little bit now I'm older, that before I was 20, we didn't really have, well, even before I was 18. I can remember being at school when we first had the internet, and we always just used to look up Tupac's Dead Body for some reason. So that tells us early 2000. And the internet was really slow. There was no such thing as an influencer. We couldn't go on Instagram and see girls at my age, our age, with makeup, eyelashes. We picked a Spice Girl, we stuck to it. That was who we would have. Fast forward a few years later, we had MySpace. But, we put pictures on there. They take so long to upload. We didn't have upload straight from the phone, so you'd have to sit on your laptop with your disc from the Photoshop and upload them that way. And the best thing about that was picking your song. I have no idea what year Facebook was launched, but anyone listening to this were definitely over it. Not over it, older than it. And, we might be at an age where we are getting pulled in to these expectations, and it's, feeding through social media, but we can sort of let it go. And it's our jobs as maybe elder millennials to teach this to your children, teach this to your daughters, that it really doesn't matter. 20 things to do before you're 20 really doesn't matter. It's an imaginary list that someone else made up, that they probably didn't even achieve that. And this is your permission to just be happy in your life of where you're at now. Yes, we can have dreams, goals, and intentions. That's perfectly fine, and they can go through all throughout your life. But I don't I just don't want anyone listening to this thinking, oh my God, I'm this age and this is what's happening, and it's not living up to these milestones. So if you have ever had a moment of that, I have friends who are older than me, like, oh my God, I'm 42, I'm 43, and I'm single or I'm divorced. And right, okay, but who set that line of you can't be single at 43? You can't be divorced at 43? Who said that? Who made this up? And why are we still doing it today? Because it really doesn't matter. And again, I'm grateful that I didn't feel the eyes and expectations of society when I was younger, because we didn't have the social media there. And I feel like even now, being a little bit older, it is through social media that I'm like, what? Like, but I'm able to reflect on it and let it go. So seeing the posts of the girls, again, very positive posts that I'm like, okay, yes, you've got this list of things you haven't achieved, but let's get rid of the list. And without social media, that list wouldn't be there. And I guarantee there'd be someone reading that list, also ticking off what they haven't achieved or what they have, and then that comparison against the person in the post. And there's other milestones, there's other things as well that I'm letting go of today. I'm giving myself permission to release. I've released these expectations, these milestones for my age. They're gone. I don't care. It doesn't matter how old I am. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't. No one else should. And me not wanting to make my own children and being characterized by someone who will never access the true meaning of life. Okay, well, that's me never accessing the true meaning of what you perceive your life to be. My true meaning of life is something completely different. We shouldn't all be tarring ourselves. We all have our own lives. Our own meaning of life is completely different to each person. So letting that go, letting those thoughts go that, oh, she's never going to achieve this. She's never going to do that because she hasn't done this. I know people who are now getting divorced and, things don't work out. We're only human. And not seeing yourself as a 35-year-old divorcee. You're 35. That's it. And your age doesn't matter. You're just a woman who used to be married and now you're not. Let's stop taking these labels and milestones away and just start enjoying actually who we are. And again, just from my point of view, not recognizing the relevance of marriage. Okay, so, if I will get married, but I don't need to I feel like I don't need the big party or, the big do. And I'm not married yet, and I'm past that threshold. If we're going on this paper, I'm past that milestone, according to the girl who was 24, who was also not married. What age is it then? Because I'm past 24 and you're already reflecting on that you're not. So where does this come from? Where does it stop? And, the house is a big thing. Not reaching a stage where buying a house has happened yet. Because there's so much going on in the world. We forget that, look what's going on. There's all these if you watch the news, if you believe the news, financial crisis, house prices going up, cost of living is going up. Of course, you're not going to hit this milestone because of the world around you is not allowing you to. But instead of putting this burden on yourself of, not achieving this, buying this house, that you just relax and enjoy the house that you're living in. If it's rented, then so be it. You've got a house. Be grateful that you've got a house to live in, you've got rent to pay. Again, and this expectation of owning a home is just passed down from generation to generation, that you should have a house by the time you're 30. I feel like 30 is the epitome of the adult. And then once you get past 30, it's like, oh, she hasn't done that yet. She hasn't done that. She's not married. She's not got kids. And she's past 30. Whoa, oh my God. And I just feel like now is the time that we let this go. We protect ourselves and we stop defending ourselves, prodding, probing, and patronizing each other. And we just enjoy what we've got. And I think that having this feeling is so empowering, that We've got a whole life ahead of us. No matter what age, you've still got your life ahead of you. And we should just be enjoying what we've got while we've got it. And living in this mindset has also allowed me to learn from others without comparing to them. This is also so empowering that, you know, a few years ago, I might have seen those posts and felt really shitty about myself because, God, she's 34 and she's doing all this and I haven't either. And is that something I should be worried about? And, you know, I'm not there yet. And putting this pressure on myself to feel that way as well, instead of just going, do you know what? I haven't even got a list that I'm living up to. When it happens, it happens. Lifting the weight of expectation off your shoulders, wherever it comes from. And we get it from, like I've said, social media, family, tradition, conditioning. And it's just something that, let's just give, let me just think, and just zero, I can swear it's my podcast, I'll make sure I put a disclaimer on. Let's start giving zero shits about what society expects of us. And I read somewhere, and I always think about this, tradition is peer pressure from the dead. Tradition is peer pressure from the dead. Let that sink in, because that's all it is. Tradition is peer pressure from the dead. So these lists, these milestones, these achievements that we're all striving to get before a certain age comes from dead people. So next time these thoughts come into your head, or someone has a dig about you being unmarried, divorced, no kids, not owning a home, by whatever age, trying to define your success by their standards, by these imaginary standards, just remind them that you do know that you're giving in to peer pressure from the dead. Tradition is peer pressure from the dead. How about after this podcast, we all start to reflect, forgetting about your age. Your age is just the number of years you've been alive. We have our biological age. If you look after your body, nutrition, movement, mindset, your biological age is probably a lot lower than your actual age. So maybe we should all just test it on biological age, just so we know how healthy we are biologically. Not just so we can, you know, then go, right, okay, biologically I'm 24, so it's still not too late to buy a house. Forgetting that, forgetting all of those milestones, just looking after your body for what it is. Let's start looking at success as when you wake up in the morning, you have your possessions, you feel like you've got your purpose, you have a social status, you have friends, you have family, you have friends that will be there for you in a heartbeat. That's success. You have the things you want around you, that's success. You have people who love you, that's success. If you can make ends meet by whatever means are accessible to you, that's success. If you've got running water, that's success. If you've got a roof over your head, that's success. If you laugh a lot, if you say sorry to strangers because you bump into them in the street, that's success. If you sleep for 8 hours a night, that's success. I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's no denying this combination is hard to achieve, and it is a lifelong journey. But if we all focus on these basics, we can be successful. And dare I even say it, we might even be happy at the age we are at. These are the milestones that matter. Happiness is the milestone that matters. It really doesn't matter that you're 34, 44, 54 and you haven't achieved these things yet. If they're meant for you, they will come. If they're not, embrace what you've got and enjoy it, because that is what's meant for you. As you're sitting here now, listening to this, everything around you is meant for you. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you're listening to this feeling a little bit crappy at the moment and you're thinking, well, you know, I've got all these things going on, just flip that for a second. Start to flip and look around you that, oh my God, okay, yes, I've got a roof over my head. Yes, I've got this. I've got these people that love me. I've got my health. Or if it's your health that you feel like is hindering you starting to, again, looking around, we've all got somebody that loves us. We can all start there. We can all start that I have got this person that really loves me. And if you do struggle with this, I would suggest starting your day with these positive affirmations. This is what I have in my life. I do five things I'm grateful for every single morning. Some mornings, if I'm tired, I'm like, oh, what can I write today? And I'll literally put, I'm grateful for my fresh coffee. I'm grateful for the birds in the garden. I'm so grateful for the love of my dogs. I'm truly blessed to have an amazing boyfriend. I'm truly blessed to have clients that pay me. I'm truly blessed to have £10 in my bank account. Whatever it is, see that, because whatever you've got in your life right now is somebody else's dream. Whether or not it feels like it to you, it is somebody else's dream. So just remember that you're living somebody else's dream. And when we look at it that way, does our age really matter? Do these milestones really matter? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is the way that I've been living my life for a few years now. So, and I really think it's helped me, because there's so much negativity in the world about ages and milestones, and I haven't hit any of the milestones. And I'm guessing this is why I've worked hard to see my life for what it is without all of those milestones. Because my milestones will come, and they have come. I've got my own milestones. They're just not the traditional ones. I've got my own successes, my own things that make me happy, as do we all. So from today, if anyone asks you your age, just say it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've achieved. It doesn't matter what you haven't achieved. What matters is the here and the now, what you have and what you're grateful for. And that's how I'm going into my next year and moving forward forever. So I hope that has allowed you to sort of reflect, and I hope that resonates with you a little bit. And if you haven't, go to find my birthday post, because I promise you my caption is whatever I spouted out at the beginning, that it doesn't matter how old I am, it doesn't matter what I've achieved, what I haven't, what matters is the here and the now, what I'm doing, what I love, and I'm so grateful for all of that. Because this is the new way of thinking. This is the new paradigm of stepping into your life, forgetting all of this, going against the age. Rebel against your age. Age is nothing but a number. Age is societal. And I'm going on and on and on here now. So I'm going to end today. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting me in my podcast over the last... It's coming up to the first birthday of my podcast actually in January. So thank you so much. I'll be having a celebratory episode in January. But yeah, thank you for listening. And I will be back next week. I have an amazing guest for next week. And yeah, have an amazing weekend, guys. See you soon.
And that's it today, everybody. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you again next week. Don't forget, 5 stars, download, tell your friends. You're amazing.